In this video, we're going to go over the spreadsheet widget in Quincy. There's a lot to talk about, but it'll probably be a relatively quick video. We're going to talk about what the spreadsheet widget is, getting data in, interacting with the grid, manipulating the spreadsheet data, and saving and loading that data. So let's hop into the tool. The spreadsheet widget is here. Now, the first thing I want to clarify is this is not referring to viewing spreadsheets that are part of your evidence. So if you have acquired a drive or a phone and it has an XLS on it, you would not be viewing it here. That is done in the viewer, and that has a spreadsheet view that you can, well, I don't have spreadsheets, but that you can access and view the spreadsheet there. This spreadsheet is about utilizing Excel-like functionality to manipulate data in the grid. So first, let's log into a case. So we're already in one. That's good. And let's open our spreadsheet widget. The first thing you'll notice is it looks just like a normal spreadsheet. And it has 1,000 rows, so it goes down quite a bit. It's got a whole bunch of sort of pretty standard Excel-like functionality. You can insert rows and columns. You can undo and redo. All the sort of normal kind of stuff. You can type in here. If you just wanted to use this as a normal spreadsheet, you could go ahead and do that. No real reason to do that versus doing it in a normal spreadsheet, but the point is you can do all sorts of Excel-like functionality. All right, so how do you get this data into here? Well, this giant big button up top should be a dead giveaway. You simply press that button. But before I do that, let's talk about what's coming over. You will get the 100 rows that you have loaded. If you want more rows, if you want to take advantage of more of the Excel real estate you have, you can go ahead and do that. Now, once this is 700, now I'll be pulling over 700 rows. You will pull over the data in the columns here. So right now I've got these sort of standard columns in it. If I wanted to pull over all the loaded stuff, or just documents or general, or if I wanted to create a custom set of columns, I could do that. Let's go ahead and just go with all loaded. That's sort of the fire hose effect, if you will. I've got everything I need in this grid, and now I push it to this grid. And so it's now in an Excel-like format where you can do whatever you might want to, or whatever you might normally do in Excel. Let's say for some reason you wanted to add up object IDs, which you wouldn't really ever want to do, but you could go ahead and do that. You could come down here to the bottom. But for example, if I had created a custom column. No, excuse me, if I had created a custom set of columns and I had page size or page number as one of the columns, you might want to add up all the page numbers to see how many docs you have or see how many pages total you have. So let's just do our normal Excel thing. Why I'm adding up object IDs, I don't know. Let's not even scroll all the way to the top because you get the idea. You can just go ahead and press enter, and there you go. That's all your object, the sum of however many object IDs I just added up, which of course again is a nonsense type exercise. But you can do more elaborate things. Let's say, for example, you were bringing in phone data, and hold on, let me go all the way to the top, and let's see if we have. See, we don't have any phone numbers in this data. But if we did, and we wanted to do, let's pretend our object ID numbers are phone numbers, and we want to do a VLOOKUP. Excuse me, I pressed the wrong end there. page down all the way here. And we want to perform some operation. Again, let's start with a VLOOKUP. And we're going to look for, let's say, 1500. And we're going to look for it in this data set that we got here. Scroll all the way to the top. And we need an exact match. Anyway, you should be familiar with your VLOOKUP functionality. This is an Excel function. And let's see, we wanted to know what case the object ID 1500 was in. Well, we've got case ID 1 to the right of it. So let's look at the second column. Excuse me. I messed that up. I got to do C. And it says that the object ID 1500 is in case 4, which is in fact correct. So anyway, listen, I don't want to get too much into the nitpicky of all the Excel functions you can do. You can do a ton of stuff in Excel, and you can do all of that here. After you've manipulated this data, if you're happy with it, you can go ahead and export it to Excel directly, and it will download it to your local desktop, and you can save that. I'm going to cancel here. And then if later on you want to upload that again, you can come over here and open it and go find that spreadsheet again on your drive and push it back up. So I think pretty useful, frankly. Now, one last thing I want to show you about this, and this is not that exciting at the moment, but it will become very exciting. So a lot of you have cause to alter this data. And I don't mean alter the fundamental metadata, but let's say you have a custom column or something like that in here, and you're entering some criteria against the custom column or whatever, or you have some note field. With the spreadsheet functionality, you can utilize all the power of the spreadsheet, but let's say I want to change this cell to the number 5. Did you see that? It changed to 5. Now, at the moment, of course, I would never want to do that. I would never want to change the case ID to 5. And you can't save it here anyway at the moment, so it's sort of a moot point. But going forward, when you have a custom column in here, something that allows editing, your ability to manipulate it here and manipulate it in mass becomes very powerful. So if we want to just sort of do this kind of stuff, you can see that it will just keep pushing that data over to the right. So anyway, that's the spreadsheet. At the moment, it's just a sort of cool way to manipulate data with Excel-like functionality. But in the relative near term, when we get custom columns in, it will be a really powerful way to manipulate the custom column data. So anyway, that's the spreadsheet widget.